What's up, everybody? This is Alex Cristoforu from the Duran, and I'm here with Peter Lavelle, host of RT's Crosstalk. And today we're going to be talking about Tommy Robinson. So, Peter, Paul Joseph Watson yesterday broke the news via Twitter that Tommy Robinson has been moved to a prison block, to a prison cell that is 71% Muslim. And obviously, this poses great risk for Tommy Robinson, being a critic of Muslim migration, Islamic migration to the UK and the effects that it's had on the population in the UK. Of course, there's all kinds of other issues with the imprisonment of Tommy Robinson, from free speech to just taking someone and essentially hiding them. We saw this in the case of the Scripples as well in the UK. Tell us what you think about all these things that are happening with Tommy Robinson, whether it's him being moved to this largely populated Muslim prison cell, whether it's the free speech issue. What is going on in the UK? What are the risks? What are the pitfalls? How do you see things unfolding here?
Well, Tommy Robinson is a huge thorn in the side of the British establishment. So they're going to get rid of him. That's what they've done. Okay, they denied him his civil rights, his freedom of speech. They denied him his liberty. Where was the due process? It's still very murky. A violation of a parole infringement. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know British law. But many people that I've talked to that know the situation and even know him, it was a pretense. They just simply want to get him out of the way. When he was apprehended and denied his due process under the law, he was covering a grooming gang, a rape gang of children, and a story that the British establishment doesn't like to have talked about. Even his arrest, there was a blackout, an enforced blackout of his legal problems. It's truly shameful what's going on. It's very much in league with Julian Assange, denying due process. Now, I'm not here to defend every single word and action of Tommy Robinson. Far from it. Far from it. But I come here and speak about his trials, if you can even call that, because I don't even think he really got a trial, is that I stand on principle. I mean, this is the country that gave the world so much, and about freedom of speech, about privacy, the right to assembly. I saw when he was arrested, it didn't seem like he was breaking the peace to me or threatening order. So this is a wake-up call to all of us, and I think beyond political stripes. I mean, here's a person that is a thorn in the side of the establishment, and so you just want to deny him due process. Then that can happen to you, Alex, and it can happen to me. Okay, just because you don't like the guy, there are a lot of people I don't like. Okay, and there's a lot of things that are said, and I don't have a right not to be offended. Okay, and that's a good way to live. Okay. Deal with people with arguments, okay? Not just shut them down, hide them away, put him into a confinement situation, incarcerate him where we already know the last time he was incarcerated, there were hits put on him to have him hurt or even killed. From what I understand, the same thing has been said again, that there's a hit on him. Considering where he is, they can't guarantee his safety. But I guess that's the whole point, isn't it? They can't guarantee his safety. This is a truly, truly dark hour because the mainstream media doesn't want to touch this. Almost no one. I think we've mentioned Tucker Carlson a number of times in the past. He mentioned it, though he didn't go into details. But he mentioned the principal issue, and that's what we should all be thinking about. If you take it away from one person arbitrarily, they can take it away from all of us. And there's a lot of very uncomfortable things. We're living in times of huge, tumultuous change. And there's a lot of things that need to be talked about and not hidden away from the public eye. Immigration is a huge problem in the UK. And most people know it, okay? But you wouldn't know that from the BBC, all right? And this is why it's really important to speak out and loudly and clearly that if you abridge the rights of one person, you do it to everyone, all right? And there won't be anyone there to protect you. We've seen this in history so many times, and we're supposed to be coming from places where that doesn't happen. Well, it is happening. It is happening right in front of you
Right.
and in your eyes. And you can find out about it if you want to find out about it. And the more you learn about it, the more you should be outraged by this. We've given so much power to the state, and the more power we give them, the more they deny us our rights. Okay, that's a wake-up call. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I agree. I want to get your take. Stefan Molyneux from Freedom Radio said that this is a test case, so that they're using the Tommy Robinson and probably Julian Assange. These are test cases for what may be coming next. Do you agree with that premise?
I saw that video. I really like Stefan's stuff. I think he's absolutely right. Because you can look. I mean, Tommy Robinson can be an unsavory character in his words and his behavior. I understand that. I can understand how people react to him. But just because you feel uncomfortable or offended by something doesn't mean you shut down. You deny them their rights. And I think Tommy and Julian Assange are excellent test cases because you set these precedents where you have a blackout. You deny them due process. I mean, it's glaring, some of the human rights violations that Julian Assange is experiencing. And the media, who were supposed to keep an eye on power, they refuse to cover the story. And if they do it in they should hang him. He should be shot. I mean, it's extraordinary what they've said about.
Why does the media say that? Why?
Because someone like Julian Assange puts the entire existence of the media at stake. I mean, the media wasn't doing their job. That's why we have WikiLeaks. I mean, and if there wasn't Julian Assange or WikiLeaks, we'd have to invent a Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. It's obvious, okay? They won't do their job, so somebody else is. Okay, I mean, let's take this Russiagate thing. Okay, let's take that to the present. How many times have the mainstream media had to walk back their stories? How many? We could do countless podcasts on that. How many stories has Julian Assange had to walk back at WikiLeaks? Okay? Again, I'm not defending everything that Julian Assange says or does. Okay? As a public figure, I don't do that with people. Okay? I can always find differences. Okay? But, the test case is there. And they're good test cases because the media has conditioned publics, to point who our enemies are, and we need an enemy, okay? And like Trump is the enemy for the media. That means you don't have to look at what the FBI does and the DOJ does. We've seen the curtain pulled back. I'm older probably than most people watching this, but we've never seen this kind of behind the scenes look at the DOJ in my lifetime, probably ever, and what's going on there. And it ain't pretty, okay? And these are the people that we give so much power to protect us. No, ask Carter Page, and I'm wondering what kind of paycheck that guy's going to get at the end of the day, okay? Really, the defamation that guy has experienced. Again, I'm not defending Carter Page, but if you deny him his rights, it's only a step away where they're going to do it to both of us, okay? And we have to stand. I thought that was what liberals were all about at the end of the day. Principles. So they're antithetical to principles these days. It seems to me they're against peace. They're for war. They're anti-civil liberties. They're anti-speech. I mean, what? It's just what do they just call themselves? Antifa. Okay, that will cover them all.
Yeah. Carter Page's life was ruined, and he hasn't even been charged with anything.
He's still walking around. If he was such a threat. He's been on cable TV countless number of times. He's never been indicted. He's nothing.
Peter, what happens because Julian Assange's health has now been questioned? Obviously, we have now Tommy Robinson being moved to a very dangerous situation. What happens if something happens to one of these guys or to both of them?
Scribbles. He slipped on some soap.
Do you think people are going to buy that? I mean, this is entering a very dangerous phase.
I think the Skripal's case is a test as well, isn't it? Isn't it? Let's go to the broadsheets now in the UK. Are there any stories on it? No. It's as if it never happened. And that's the same thing they'll do to Julian Assange and to Tommy Robinson.
You think they're able to cover up such a high-profile figures?
I mean, what? A chemical agent 10 times worse than VX was used in the UK. Oh my God! That was only a few weeks ago, Alex.
Yeah.
Test case. Talk about test case. They're gone.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, for the Skripal case, I mean, for me, it is so unbelievably untrue what they were feeding us. I mean, I just completely dismissed it out of hand from the very beginning. But it worked. Okay, Assad using chemical weapons in Syria. Oh, we haven't got the evidence yet, but we'll get it. These are all tests. These are all tests, and they get away with it in their sphere, not in ours. Ours is, and that's why we are absolutely necessary. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You're not a conspiracy theorist. We just put together facts that are what we learn or are put out there, and smart people that know what they're talking about. You know, when on my program at Crosstalk, I had on one case a lawyer and two former one former MI6, one MI5. Okay, these people know what they're talking about. Okay, not Joe Blow, Morning Joe and Meager over there at MSNBC. Okay, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's
test case.
It's a test case. It's a test case, and I mean, I think we're just at the beginning of this story, and it's much bigger than a person like Tommy Robinson or Julian Assange. This really delves into the core of free speech and due process. And I think you said it best. I mean, I hear from a lot of average people, like daily people that you come into interaction with that may not be plugged into the news or what's going on. And they always ask the same question. Well, how is this going to affect me? What does this mean for me? Oh, so what if they imprison Tommy Robinson or Julian Assange or the Skripals? How does this affect me? And I think you brought it to a very personal level, that it's just going to come, once they get done with these guys, they're going to be coming after you.
Well, I mean, and of course, look at like Twitter. I mean, look at the number of conservatives are being pushed out, shut down. Facebook. A couple of friends of mine yesterday were blocked on Facebook without any reason whatsoever. I read their stuff. I don't always agree with it, but it seems thoughtful. Okay, and that's what speech is about. That's how we learn, is by disagreeing with each other. That's how we come to the truth. All right, so this is a trend. Unfortunately, I've said it before. Facebook and Twitter and this kind of stuff, they were supposed to be the great leveling of democracy, of a free of expression. I remember that these were like, a new great era of openness and transparency. And now it's turning into a technological nightmare, okay? Because you can disappear people, throttle them as if they never existed. It's extraordinary now.
It's incredible. It's incredible what's happening. Hey, we'll be following this story very closely because unfolding, and unfortunately the mainstream media is not following this story, so we'll definitely be on it. Peter Lavelle, host of RT's Crosstalk, thank you again for your insight on what is becoming an incredible story out of the UK. Everyone watching this, remember to click the subscribe button down below. Also click that notifications bell to get notifications every time we push out a new video. Go to the Duran shop, buy a shirt. Help support broadcasts like this. Peter Lavelle, host of RT's Crosstalk. Thank you again. Guys, take care.